G'day everyone and welcome to another DUC Migrating to Australia podcast. Wes out here again and I'm joined by Steven Lockley. So Steven, the electrician, welcome.
Hi Wes, how you doing?
Good mate, good. Now me and Steven actually look the same. So we're, you know, entering the modelling career of we're probably what models mate now you reckon? You knocked back many contracts
Well,
yourself or?
we're getting there. I'm hoping to. There's a few more on offer in Australia, maybe. So
That's it, mate. Get you in your budgies out there on the beach, mate. Your photo
yeah,
shoot done. But we do look a bit alike, mate. We've got the ginger beards going, and as we say, mate, handsome was never the hard part. Is that what we say, or we just avoid
oh,
mirrors?
from now we can, yeah.
Okay, good stuff. So, Stephen, mate, firstly, just thanks for making the time to talk to the listeners about your journey to Australia. So we always start off with is what's your occupation?
So I'm an electrician, um,
Cool.
mainly solar these days. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah,
Nice. Be lots of solar work in Oz, mate. We have a big thing called the sun up here, which comes out regularly. We were
yeah,
just to the listeners, we were just talking. This is being filmed on the 16th to the 12th, 2024. And Lisa, who sort of puts the podcast together based in South Australia, they had like a 38-degree day on a Sunday and air conditioner packed it in. And we had the same today, but there's a nice cool change coming through. So we've got it's pretty warm weather before Santa Claus comes. Um, yeah, down in Australia for you, I guess, mate. So, how many years you been a Sparky for?
I've been back for about 17 years.
Right.
I actually started quite late, about 20. I did
Yeah.
carpentry before that, but it was yeah, it was a bit of a non-goer. So
Yeah.
that was that. So yeah, fell into it that
Yeah.
way.
Good work. Good work. So, and who's coming over, mate? So you're the main applicant, and can you introduce the people that are coming over?
Yeah, so it's me, Rachel, my partner, and Ava, who's 10.
Yep. Yep. And then there's another gentleman called Josh who's 17, and he's at the moment he's not he's at present you're not putting him on the visa.
No, he's not going to come. He's quite happy what he's doing now. He's doing some drama tech course and computer science. So he wants to complete university here, and he's going
Yep.
to stay with Rachel's mum and dad, and then come over if that's what he wants to do.
Sure. And I mean, obviously, you don't have to answer any of these questions if you want, mate. Like, I think, have you guys looked into adding him to the visa now while he's a dependent and qualifies? So then he's always eligible for PR. So, like, sort of like if you get a 190, get his name, put it all on there and everything like that. So he'll have the same passport as you, and he won't have to do an English test or a skills assessment. We could look to put in like a return to residency visa later on,
Oh,
or
okay. No, I didn't know that was an option, to be honest. But
yeah.
yeah, he's very undecided on whether he's going to come at this point anyway. So it's
Yeah,
something we just thought we press on with us three, and we'll sort
yeah,
that whenever he wants to, sort of thing.
perfect. So for the listeners, Stephen's got his practical assessment booked in for the 15th of Jan, and we'll come to that in a minute. Have you done your English test yet, mate?
Done my English test, yeah. Done it
What'd you get?
twice. I got superior in the end.
Well done, mate.
I was quite close the first time. Sort of came out and said I could probably do better in the writing, and yeah, I got 76 in the writing. So I was like, well, okay, I'll go and give it another shot. And yeah, managed to come out okay. So yeah, got the
Nailed
20
it.
points.
Nailed it. Now, you gave me a clue before. You said you were 20 when you started your electrical and you've been doing it for like 17 years. So I assume you're under 40
Yeah,
and older
37.
than
Yeah,
33. So you're going to score quite high. So going back to the Josh thing, at the moment you're in your skills assessment stage and you move to the visas. And you move to the visa team once you've got your skills assessment done. But it's something definitely have a chat with one of our registered agents about, mate. Because the advantage of you, if you're still a dependent, you adding him to the visa might cost you an extra few grand, okay, in Australian dollars,
yeah,
but it just gives him the option if he does decide later on to come over. Is if he's a permanent resident, there's lots of options. So definitely do have a chat about that
yeah. We'll
because
do.
yeah, save him a fortune later on as well,
Yeah,
and really opens the doors up for everyone. And have you got a certain visa you're looking for, mate? 189, 190, 491. Have you
Yeah,
prefer a
190.
particular
I
one?
think we were
Yep.
advised by Mick that the 190 was the only route really to go.
Yep.
And we haven't really looked at anything else.
Yep.
It looks like it's going quite well. So um, yeah,
Well,
everything's
you
going all right.
score high, Stephen. You score really high with a superior English, 20 points. So you got 25 points for your age. Did you
Yeah.
ever complete a university degree?
No.
No. So you got 10
No.
points for your a completion of the skills assessment. You get an OTSR, but you get UK quals or OTSR will give you 10 points anyway. So that takes you to 35. If you can prove 8 years in the last 10 years of full-time paid work experience, that gives you an extra 15. So what do we got now, mate? That's 50. 20 points
Yeah.
in English is 70.
Yeah.
And your partner, Rachel's got a UK passport.
Yes.
Yep. So she gets 5 extra points as well. So, mate, you're sitting on 75 points,
Yeah.
which is a good score for a 189. And then obviously the 190, you'll get an extra 5 points as well, mate. So,
Yeah.
due to the fact that you smash your English test, you really match what Australia is looking for. You've got a great occupation on the skilled list. Yeah, you've got good points with the English, good work experience points. You're in good stead, mate, for a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
for,
Good.
for a good visa. Um, so, yeah. Do you have any like with the visa side? Do you have like any particular state or anything you want to move to?
Yeah, we've been looking at South Australia, Adelaide. I was just chatting to Lisa about that, and yeah, that seems to tick the most boxes. A little bit of city life with the beaches as well, and been looking at the obviously jobs down there seem plentiful, and yeah, solar's everywhere, isn't it, in Australia, which is one
Oh,
good thing going for me. So I spoke to Patrick Schaff on my technical interview, and he said,
yeah.
it's the number one place in the world really for solar. So yeah, I'm quite happy that wherever I go, I'll find work.
Well, I'm going to make your day a little bit better, mate. On this Wednesday coming, so today's Monday. On Wednesday coming, I'm actually meeting with a lady called Delinda, who is the director for the Master Builders Association of South Australia, and she's approached the Down Under Centre to. She wants you. She wants English speaking skilled migrants. So
Wow.
she's going to do we're going to do an event together, mate, just after Christmas, and targeting electricians and all the trades. Basically, they're the Build
Okay.
Connect program for the Master Builders Association. So haven't met with them yet, but it sounds like that they're looking to bring in lots of tradies, but also connect them with employers because South Australia is really short in that
Wow.
sectors. So stay tuned for that one, mate, because that
That
will be a
sounds
very
good.
good. Yeah, it's a really good contact to have. South Australia is very accepting of trades, and one of the things that they mentioned in the last last webinar we did, mate, is when you put in your expression of interest, they really like the high English. So you you're like a perfect candidate for them, mate.
Yeah, I did see that. You did a podcast with someone from the South Australia government, and they said that that was something. So I knew that if I wanted to go there, I really had to, get that superior English. So that was, yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah, yeah. I think they probably wish you had been a plumber or something, mate. Like a decent
Yeah,
trade, but they accept electricians.
yeah,
No, but in all seriousness, mate, that's very positive. And then stay tuned we'll get some marketing out there, and we'll see what we can do with that division of South Australia to really help and build, make it grow. There's so much growth over there, so that's exciting. And what were the factors of choosing South Australia?
Um, I want to sort of be able to go to the city at the weekends, and bit of a city vibe. But my partner also wants the beaches, so it kind of fits both bills if we move somewhere that has both really, and it seems a little bit smaller than the rest of the cities in Australia, so it's kind of yeah, it ticks a lot of boxes for us basically.
It's with all the podcasts we've done and all the you don't get too many people Well, Gemma Teal did. She did. She moved from South Australia to WA. But you get lots of people that are quite happy, and lots of people don't like when we do the podcast, mate, and mention South Australia because they think it's a bit of a secret. But it sounds like it's a good, yeah, it's a good state with full of opportunity. So, whose idea was it to make the move, mate? Was it yours or Rachel's?
Yeah, it was mine. I mean, it's always been a sort of a dream of mine, but sort of a just never really thought it would be for me. Like I never thought I would achieve it. And when I we decided we were going to buy a house, we started looking, and I just couldn't see myself living here. So I just said
Where are
to
you
Rach,
from in the UK, mate?
from Leamington Spa. So
Where's
it's
that?
Midlands. So it's about 30 minutes away from Birmingham.
Okay.
um, about an hour and a half away from London. So it's nice here, but I just couldn't see myself living like buying a house and signing up for the next 25 years with a mortgage. So I just said to Rachel, what about Australia? And she said, yeah, okay. And I thought, oh God, that was easy. And then the next morning, I said, did you mean what you said? And she said, yeah, and that was it. We just
Nice.
that it was all go from there. Spoke to Mick, and yeah, he was great, and he made it sound very easy. And we ended up talking about football actually because it was the start of the Euros in, I think it was June, and we ended up talking about football for the remainder of the call. So yeah, it just sounded really good, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was
And
fun.
you're still, I guess you're still at the, you are at the early, process as well. You're sort of, you're at an interesting stage. Once your skills assessment done, then you move to the EOI, then you get your invite, then you play the waiting game for the visa, which your visa grants are getting a lot quicker these days as well, which is good news.
Yeah,
Um, you said before it's always been a dream to move to Australia. What have you been to Australia before?
I haven't. No, no, I haven't
No?
been. It's
And has
just
Rachel
all.
been to Australia before?
No, no,
No.
no,
So
no.
what does it look like, mate? In Stephen's eyes, what does Australia look like?
I just think that it's full of potential. I feel like us as a family will reach our true potential out there. I feel like I know what this is here. And I feel like not outgrown, but I just feel like there's a lot more opportunity there. And like with the weather and, just a different energy, I just feel like that is for us. And that's what we're going to try and do.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, just it's good. I mean, Rachel's a dental nurse, so I think she'll always have work as well, and
yeah, she will.
yeah, so it's all good. Well, I think, yeah, from obviously we haven't been there, but no, I think it's full of opportunity.
You'd be surprised, mate, how many people like spend all the money, make the big move out to Oz that have never been here and actually have a good crack at it.
Yeah,
It is. I'm probably very repetitive, so I feel sorry for the listeners, but we love it out here, living here. There's so much to do. Like on the weekend, we took our kids on. Well, I took my two sons on their first camping trip. Bloody
yeah,
unbelievable! So good. Woke up in the
yeah,
morning, put the tent down, took Jazzy to her dance concert, and then we ended up getting a puppy. But that's the story for another day. Um, but yeah, so it just on the weekends, it's just been. Oh, it's just nice, and with school
yeah,
holidays coming up, there's just so many activities. It's just so, yeah. It's just it's a great, it's really good. It's a great place to live. So you're at skills assessment stage. You've done the English test.
yeah.
Talk us through the process now of how your skills assessment from when you got started with us to where you are now, mate.
So obviously the gathering the documentation was when you first open that folder and you see the 20 or so items, you just think, oh, I'm just never going to get through this. But sort of tried to break it down, just do the ones that I knew, like the passport photo was a good one. That was an easy tick, and then
Yeah,
it
that's a good
sort
one
of
for you. Next one to
it
Rachel.
yeah, it just snowballs from there, and it does get easier. But I'm not going to say it is easy because
Yeah,
there's a lot of waiting on other people, and that's what you don't want to be
yeah,
doing in this process. But you do, you have to. It's one of them things, and yeah. But and now the technical interview, that was nothing what I thought it was going to be. That was again just a nice chat about what I'd done, and I think with the documentation's got to be the hardest thing because you're kind of trying to prove yourself on paper, and it's it's a hard thing to do. So
It's interesting, mate, because as an electrician, you need an NVQ and 4 years of full time paid work experience, or no NVQ level 3 in 6 years. But because we would have asked for 8 or 11 years for you.
Yeah, 8.
8. So what we're actually doing, that means you've got the NVQ level 3. So what we're actually doing is when you actually provided that, because we needed that to get you maximum points for the visa, you're actually showing the assessor that you're double the minimum amount. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we submit all that to us, the assessing body at ATTC, and then Pat will then come in and have a look at it, and it sort of makes it very hard for him to find gaps in it. So
Yeah.
even though the technical interview was easy for you, it just means the assessing body or the assessor can tick as many boxes as they need to tick, because you are who you say you are.
Yeah, sure.
Um, and you've got the practical assessment coming up, which Dave will do that. And Dave's a
Yeah.
previous client of ours. He's really good. And yeah, it's sort of exciting. Oh, sorry, I did. Yeah, yeah. You said you use Pat, so you're going through ATTC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so you'll be yeah, Dave will be doing your practical assessment. Do you know what's involved in the practical assessment? Have you been
Yeah,
told
I've
yet?
been. Yeah, Will from the DC has sent me a few little bits, and it's fairly similar to exams I've done in the past.
Yeah.
With the
So
electrical, so maybe not as in depth, but yeah, I'm quite happy with it, I think. But again, it's another thing. You just a little bit nervous about it because you haven't done it for a while in that sort of setting, and you've got a lot riding on it. So yeah,
yeah, there is. There is. I think you nailed it before. The first part's the hardest part, and you worded it really well, because you said you're waiting on other people. You know,
yeah, that's it.
so the bulk of the work that we get our clients to do is at the start, and you've actually followed the correct order. We always say to clients, no point paying for a skills assessment until you've done your English test. Once you've done your English test, we can look at your score. Once you've gathered all the years of evidence, we know. Because the initial conversation with Mick, it's just all hearsay. Yes,
Yeah,
you can prove you've got 8 years. Have you been self-employed, employed? Have you got criminal convictions? No, like, we ask the necessary questions, and then we're like, okay, go off and get all the documents, mate. Because once you get all the documents, then we can actually, the visa team can actually go, bang, these are our options. Now, you're lucky because you score really high, because you got the highest score in English.
yeah, that's it.
So you're putting yourself in a good yeah, position. So do you know? Have you got? Is there anyone else that you know that's doing the practical on the same day as you?
No, I've spoken on Facebook about it, but no, I don't know anybody that is on the
Should
same
put on the
day.
DUC club, mate. Just say anyone else, any other Sparkies that
Yeah, I
you.
might do. Yeah, I put that. I was worried about it, and I spoke to a few people. Said like you don't need to worry about it, and etc. But yeah, I might just do that. Yeah, just so that I know who's going to be there. That might be a good thing.
And
Might
have
be a
you
bit
heard
of a
about the
settler.
gap training to get your full license in Australia?
Yeah, I've heard about the gap training. Yeah, I just think it's one of them things that you've got to do if you want to, like I was saying about reaching the potential. If I could go there and work and not do that, but I'd never be reaching those heights that I want to get to. So, I think it's just a part of the process.
It's a part of the process which so many people are negative about, and I understand, because when you're comfortable, you've been a Sparky for 17 years, you know the UK well, you're in a position of buying a house and moving to Australia, so you've done well. You're obviously good at what you do because you've stuck it out for so long. In Australia, I like the idea that we got to do the gap training, because then it really protects our industry.
Yeah, that's
Like,
it.
effectively, it's technically against the law and I mean it's a criminal offence for an electrician, a licensed electrician, to hire someone as an electrician who doesn't have a registration, for obvious reasons, mate. So
Yeah,
if someone gets killed, or you're at someone's house, you don't earth something correctly, and then, like, a plumber or someone else cuts through a bit of copper and it's earthed to the copper, then all of a sudden the electricity goes through them, right?
yeah,
So
that's it.
I think to protect the industry, it's got to be done correct. But it's a bit of a pain in the backside, because by the time you do your skills assessment as an electrician, that's for $5,320 of government fees for that. And
Yeah,
then when you do the gap training, you've got you've got to work for an employer for nearly up to 12 months.
yeah,
Ticking boxes. We call that e-profiling. So your employer just ticks boxes, and then the second part is you attend trade school.
yeah,
Most people at the moment, Stephen, are doing the ATTC program, where you'll do bit of on the job. Sorry, you'll learn. You can do some online learning, and then you do like a week exam in Brisbane. That
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
to be the most efficient pathway people are choosing. Are you anxious about the gap training? Are you anxious about finding employers? What money you're going to be on, or anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, the only thing that's a little bit of a stumble is obviously because I'm in solar. I know that I can't go and work solar straight away because I won't fit the criteria of the gap training. So that's the only thing. But no, I'm not. I'm not worried about it. It's just like you say. It's again, it's time, isn't it? And waiting on sort of getting that done, so then I can actually do what I want to do. Um, but no, money is. I think that I will be okay.
Yeah.
From looking at jobs and looking at the adverts on the employment hub and stuff like that. So
Well, we've got heaps of employers at the moment, mate.
yeah, that's it. So
Like I've actually got, we're meeting with Queensland government tomorrow. They're going to do a podcast with us early January.
oh
I
wow,
keep saying podcast. I think I'm on a podcast. I get confused. Before I always say webinars when I was on a podcast, I get it backwards. But yeah, they've opted to do a webinar with us too because Queensland are going to do an invitation round. Sounds like they're going to do it early Feb. And they've got lots of tradie opportunities at the moment as well. So I think 2025 is going to be a good year for the migrants.
yeah, hopefully,
I think Australia's really got a good plateau at the moment, a good playing, good even field where everything's got skill assessments. We're doing really quick at the moment. Um, visas are invites seem like they're happening, and then visas are getting granted back a lot closer to back how it was pre-pandemic.
yeah, that's it. It seems. I think when I signed up in June, it was like people were waiting like 14 to 16 months, and now I've also seen the flip side of people are getting it done in sort of 8, 9 months or whatever. And I
Crazy,
listen to
isn't
the
it?
podcast, and yeah, there's some real quick times coming in now, which is encouraging.
Yeah, it is. It's how it should be. You pay the government a fee to come over. It doesn't make any sense, mate. Like when I speak to the states, and like you heard me in the other one, I don't like. I'm happy to host it and all that, but I'm always on the migrant side. I'm very respectful that we're being asked to participate with the government organisations, etc. But I get so like the migrant pays a fee; they pay all their government fees. So for if Josh decides to come with you, you've got a family of four. You're
Yeah,
going to be looking at what's that? 4, 7, let's say probably, 10 grand of fees.
yeah, sure.
Why wait over 12 months? You've paid them a service. Now, the service is not to get a visa, it's a processing fee.
Yeah,
That's what you're actually paying for. You're paying for an outcome. Yes, a visa, or no, not a visa. Um, but at the end of the day, like you're paying that much money and you'd expect it to happen a lot quicker. And then I guess
gotcha.
with migration, you're about to head into the what I call to is like the annoying part. Well, it's all annoying, I guess, but the emotional side where you're
Yeah,
just
sure.
waiting, waiting, waiting. So let's talk hypothetically. So you smash your skills assessment in January, get the result back in Feb, put in an expression of interest, get an invite. Let's say April, you got your invite, and because you're putting into South Australia with your score, you'll get picked up quickly.
Yeah.
Um, Christmas this time next year, your visa's granted. Are you spending Christmas in Australia, or are you and Rachel and the kids going to spend? Are you going to be as soon as your visa's granted, you're in Oz, or you got like a plan of when you're going to come to Oz?
Yeah, we've got a plan. Me and Rachel are actually getting married in August this next year,
Oh,
25.
congrats! What
So
day?
23rd of August we're getting
Oh, mate,
married.
I'm the 24th. There you go.
So yeah, and then my sister is getting married the next year in May the 23rd. So
Yep.
if I went before that, yeah, I wouldn't be in the good books. So I think if we get granted sort of late next year, then obviously, well, I think we've got a year to sort of come over. So
Yep.
maybe June 26. Um, I'm thinking 2026 June. That's that sort of summer. Maybe come over when it's a little bit cooler as well, so we can climatize a little bit better. And but yeah,
Cold, mate. Yeah.
I think that's the plan. But obviously, nothing's guaranteed, is it? So
Yeah. Well, you would be fine.
yeah, okay, good.
If you're looking at that time zone, I timeline, not time zone. You're yeah, I wouldn't have any. I wouldn't be worrying about that because you've got your English test, you're about to get your skills assessment. You've got which is good because I guess it takes the the waiting away from you. Are you so you're renting at the moment?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
it's even easier. So then you can just sort of give your notice and then
Yeah, that's it. I think
really
I think
prep
we're
it.
going to go and to stay with parents before, maybe just to save that little bit more money for when we
Yeah.
come. But yeah, that's going to be decided on sort of when we get granted, really.
And considering the kids are, by the time Ava gets out here and everything like that, she'll be what, 12, probably
Yeah,
close to
yeah,
12. Um, I think obviously they're still young, just like still a child, not a teenager yet, but it sort of frees you guys up a little bit as well. Have you guys got a like a financial budget or a plan of what is it going to be like? You're going to start work straight away, and then Rachel can sort of look after Ava, or to get it going, or you're just looking at it. You both need to start work straight away.
yeah. No, that's exactly what you said. Really, I'll go back into work straight away.
Yeah,
Probably wouldn't know what to do with myself if I had too much time off. I've actually finished for Christmas already, and I'm already sort of
jeez,
pacing the room. So yeah, I'll go straight into work, and Rachel will take a few months, I think, and sort
yeah.
of get you know, get Ava settled. Really look into where we want to sort of buy or where we want to rent, how long we want to do that. But yeah, we're going to leave that down to Rachel really, and give a lot of time. I think they start school in is it early February or the end of January
Oh,
or
mate, I'm so confused about this because in South Australia, Lisa's kids started holidays like last week.
okay,
Where in Victoria, my boys finish on Friday, which is like the 20th. But then I was chatting to a mate, and they're at the same school. And sorry, that's not true. They're at a different school, and they were saying that they didn't have to, like, same location where we are. And Cassie was saying to us that her kids have just basically just said, "Oh, look, don't worry about, like, you don't have to go in this week because it's just like small stuff sort of thing." So it's like if you
yeah,
don't want
sure,
childcare for the kids, they can just do it. So she's just said, yeah, her kids finished last week, but school
yeah,
technically runs. It's so random.
yeah,
Like you can if you want to, but today, like I said at the start of the podcast, it was stinking hot today. So
yeah,
she
yeah,
was like, the teachers, she got a message from the school saying it's going to be hot. If you want to keep your kids at home, you can. Where the other one, who's 14, they were like, they're just doing activities for the rest of the week. So if you don't want to do the activities, she was like, I'm not learning. So she just said, oh, you can stay at home and start your holidays earlier.
wow.
So
That
yeah,
would
very
never
different.
happen here. That would
No,
never
mate.
happen here. There
I
would
know.
be
I'm not
uproar
sure.
if that
I don't know if it's
happened.
better or worse, but like we'll keep our kids in school till the school bell, the school bell rings at that time.
Yeah.
They get a decent break still. So I think it's the last week of, usually the last week of January, first week of Feb is when they start, because that's
Okay.
when we also start preseason in the AFL. When I coach the kids, usually it falls. But when they go back to school, last year they went to school on a Friday or
Okay.
the Thursday it might have been. So they don't
All
start
right.
on a Monday. They start on a
Right.
Thursday and a Friday. And I think it's
Yeah.
just like, hey, how's it going? Then the teacher gets a weekend off, then get back into it.
Yeah, they normally do that here. They normally have 6 weeks off and then they'll go back and then there'll be a teacher's training day on the Monday and it's like just had
Yeah.
6 weeks off.
Yeah, could have organised that one. It's different. And so Rachel, she's obviously keen to move. Is she? Who's like the instigator now? Like who gets more excited about planning things? Is it yourself or your partner?
Uh, I think we're in it together, to be honest, which is quite nice. I think we we're quite happy to wait, but also we want it to be moving forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not, we think we're just at the point where what will be will be. There's no point stressing about what's not in our hands.
Yeah.
And I think that's been really good. I mean, a couple of years ago, I would have never been this relaxed, but I just feel as though it's the right time. So everything's fallen
Yeah.
quite well, and it's gone so quick. I mean, like June, I think, was the time we signed up, and if you'd have
Yeah.
told me that I'd have been at this stage now, I'd have been like, no, no, no way. It's going to take longer than that. So yeah, it's all going really well, which is quite settling for us as well.
Well, it's good because we're doing we're assessing sparkies and plumbers like either 2-3 sessions a month now.
Yeah,
So it's, yeah, we've got the capacity to sort of bring that forward a lot, which is good. So that
Mhm.
sort of speed things up. But also credit to yourself, mate. You've got to get to that point, get all the 8 years. Were you self-employed, employed, or a mixture of both for the 8 years?
Mixture of both.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
self-employed documents are way harder than employed, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I was lucky. I was self-employed, but I worked for one of my best friends for about 14 years.
Oh
So
wow.
it was very easy to get documents and to get
But hopefully you weren't
statement
on
of
mate
service.
rates. Hopefully you're
Yeah.
no snitch and you'll have all that covered, mate.
No, yeah, that's it. But no, he was very good to me and very good when I asked him because obviously I did leave in the end, but to go into solar, and that was my employed bit. So that, but again, left on good terms.
Oh, good
Um,
man.
so it was good.
And have you told anyone about the move yet? Have you told friends and family? Is it like all official that the
Yeah,
Lockley's are moving to Oz?
we told people pretty quick because we wanted to tell Ava. Um, so it was like we didn't want to be keeping anything, but we sort of went out and had a little bit. We celebrated with a few friends, and the next day it was feeling a bit ropey, and it was all a bit like really, really daunting. And it was like, right, we're not gonna celebrate that again because it was,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, it's we've told
Possibly
everybody.
add a bit more pressure to it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we've told everybody, and everyone has mixed reactions. But
Yeah.
on the whole, um, it's just something that we feel we've got to do. So it's
Yeah.
happening. So.
Yeah, it's really good. Anyone be a bit like negative or anything like that? Like any challenges you had?
Um, no, not really. I think it was, it's different for people, and they almost feel like it's you're taking something away from them almost. But I did think Rachel's mum and dad would be worse, but they're the most supportive people that we've told. So it's been really
Yeah.
good. They're really close, obviously, to the grandchildren and and to Rachel, and we only live round the corner from them, so it's
Yeah.
and yeah, they're I think they're 74 and 75. So but yeah, they've been brilliant. They've been really supportive, and they just her dad just said, yeah, you've got to just go for it. You're at the right age. What's keeping you here, really. So that was a real good plus for us.
Yeah. No, it sounds good. What about advice, mate? Have you got any advice or anything you'd like to offer to the listeners?
I, th- I think not really, because I feel like I'm involved. Not even really in a good position to give advice. I'm going through it myself, but I think with what we was talking about before, just try to control the things you can control, because when it's out of your hands, there's no point stressing about it.
Yeah.
I think that's just the main thing, really. Just what will be will be. I think a lot of people have said that on the podcast. So, but I think it is just that simple.
It's so frustrating. Like everyone goes, yeah, like we can offer advice, just
Yeah.
take it as it comes, do all that, and everyone's like, how the hell do you do that?
Yeah.
My life's
No.
on hold. I want to move to Oz, and yet everyone's
Yeah.
telling me to do it, and then they'll join the podcast and be like, yeah, that's the bit that killed us. Like always being on edge, always thinking what's going to happen. When am
Yeah.
I going to get it when I move? But I think you've given yourself like plenty of time. You won't have any issues, mate. Your visa will be granted, and you'll have the 12 months. Just don't front load it. Just don't do your medicals and your police checks until you get offered a case officer.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
our team will tell you about that once you give the plan. And you got to remember too, you'll also get a free so once you've at EOI, well, once you got your invite, or probably for you, when you get your visa granted, you'll be issued a free consultation with one of our relocation agents in South Australia. And
Yeah.
then that'll be vital because you've never been there before. That'd be really good for you.
Yeah. We're that's 100%. We're going to be using the relocation team.
Yeah, that's
Like you
free for
say.
you, mate. You're a client of ours, so you just have a
Yeah.
chat. Like obviously house search, if you want us to do that, then there's a fee. But the mate, it's so good what they talk to you about. Like even for Rachel as well. Like for the kids, like
Yeah.
schools, locations, what you're looking
Yeah.
for, because you're saying this is why South Australia is good. You want sort of like a city lifestyle, but you want to be close enough to the beach. Now, when we quarantined in SA, and we were on this pretty high up, like on this building. So you look one way and it's the city. You look the other way and it's the mountains.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. like how
Yeah,
close it was. Like it just looks like a stone's throw away compared to Melbourne. It's very different,
yeah,
and other cities I've been to.
yeah. I think lots of locations in Australia are incredible by what I can see. So I think I'd be lucky to end up anywhere.
Oh, it's so good, mate. The quality of life,
Yeah,
you
that's
just
it.
have. Yeah, it's amazing. So, but mate, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time, and we'll do another podcast, mate. Once you're in Oz, and it'd be good
Yeah, that'd
to
be great.
catch up. Wish you all the best with your practical assessment coming up, and
Thank
obviously
you.
everything else that you got in front of you, mate. It's all yeah, it's all exciting times. Tune into the we'll steer clear for the or steer clear. Stay tuned for the information about the what we're doing with Delinda and everything like
Yeah,
that as
we'll
well.
do.
That'd be good and all that. So, listeners, that was Stephen, and we wish him all the best. So, thanks again, mate.
Thanks, Wes. Nice one. Speak to you soon.
Good on you guys, and we'll catch up with everyone in a bit. Take care, everyone.